Hello, TBR fans. Thank you for joining for this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards in Buffalo, New York. Let's check in with my co-host, Gerry Smith. He's just back from vacation from Mexico. Gerry, how are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good,
Robert.
Good. So how was your trip? Yeah, how was your trip out there?
It was fantastic. I had a blast. I did some cave snorkeling. I rode some ATVs. Also went on a catamaran. It was a big group of about 40, 45 people. And it was people from all walks of life, all demographics. So I certainly had a blast.
That sounds excellent. So now you're back and you got some stuff coming up there in Nashville. So tell us what's going on in the clubs out there.
Well, tonight we got the Grunge Night 6 featuring Into the Flood, a tribute to Alice in Chains, and Tiny Music, which is also a tribute to the Stone Temple Pilots. Tomorrow night we got Rod, a tribute to Rod Stewart. Tonight's the night at 3rd and Lindsley in Nashville. And Friday we got Barracuda, America's Heart tribute with Child's Anthem, the music of Toto, also at 3rd and Lindsley on Friday night. And Friday night, we also have the East Side Gamblers with special guests, The Great Affairs. That's the one that I'm going to on Friday night over at the Mercy Lounge. And Saturday, we have the local Fleetwood Mac cover band, World Turning, at Seasons of Murfreesboro. And also on Saturday, there's a Tom Petty tribute. The Petty Junkies, I've seen them several times. They're very, very good. And they're at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Wow, that's great. There's always something going on there in Music City, Nashville. You guys got so many clubs out there. I know you're going to check one out later, so let us know how that goes. That sounds awesome. So let's not wait any longer.
I haven't seen this Stone tribute band before, so I'm looking forward to seeing them tonight.
All right, sounds good. So let's not wait any longer. Today's guest is originally from Buffalo, New York. She took the local music clubs by storm in the 80s with her band Actor. Her drive to succeed led her to LA to front another powerhouse band, Fire, and this would lead her to tours of Europe and also solo projects. Please welcome to the show, Jessie Galante. Jessie, how are you?
Jessie.
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Hi, Rob. Hi, Gerry. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Sure.
You're very welcome.
Excellent. It was great seeing you last month, at the Musicians of Buffalo show. That was great. I really didn't get a chance to talk to you, but
I know.
But we'll get back to that. We'll go back. What I want to do is kind of give everybody a little bit of overview, if we could, and let's start a little bit from the beginning, if you don't mind. With the clubs in Buffalo back in the 80s, it was a different scene. It was a different time, and there was a lot of original music going on back then, right?
Yep. Yeah. When I first joined Actor, we were doing all covers at that time. But then we were approached by our manager at the time, was Mike Rosniak, and he proposed an idea to get on the 97 Rock album, compilation album. I think it was Volume Rocks 2. And so that's where Checking Out, we put Checking Out on there. And it just, after that, because 97 Rock, at the time, radio stations were able to play whatever they wanted to play. So the DJs were really supportive, and they would just put that record on, and we got tons of airplay. And with that success, because we started getting, we were playing 6 or 7 nights a week in Buffalo. I mean, we could actually, that's how I lived. I didn't have a 9 to 5. I was working full time with Actor. And with that, we started writing original music and put out an EP, and that was the Actor album. And we were just playing all the time. We got a lot of exposure, a lot of airplay. I mean, 97 Rock occasionally still plays Checking Out. And also in Europe, the Actor album is pretty popular in Europe. They just love, of course, it's on vinyl too, so that's an extra perk. So the club scene was sizzling. I mean, we were playing all the time. It was a time where bands, we could never hang with each other because everybody was playing, and it was really a magical time, really a fun time. And that's actually when I met Billy, because at that time when I joined Actor, I was pretty naive to the scene. I was a little bit older. I didn't start out younger because my father, come from a strict household, so I was very protected. And so that's how I finally met Billy. And Billy was very instrumental in helping with actor and exposure. We would open up for them on a regular basis at Stage One, at Crystal Beach. When I would go out to hear Billy, he always had me come up and jam with those guys. It was very special, and it was all very new to me. So I'm like, whoa, this is fun.
Right.
I really loved it. I mean, for me, it was fun at that time. I didn't have the business head that I have now, because you have to have it to be in this business, especially nowadays. I was just like, get me on the stage. Okay, let's have rehearsal. Get me on the stage. Let's have fun. I mean, it was just absolutely a blast. I met a lot of people that we still keep in touch with. As a matter of fact, I was telling Billy, I had a conversation with Billy today. I was telling him that I was going through all my memorabilia. And I think he touched on it too on the interview. I have all this memorabilia that I've saved from the actor days, little pieces of paper from people saying, hey, come to join us at the bar for a drink. Let's do shots. Or can you do this song? Can you do that song? Thank you so much. Can you sing happy birthday? And I've saved all those things because it's part of my, it's part of my musical past. And I just absolutely, I was almost crying, looking and reading at everything, going, oh my God, that was so much fun.
What do you think you might do with this memorabilia? Will you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet with it. There's quite a bit. I've just touched a little bit of it, and I was just, some letters that people would write to me just absolutely moved me. They were so touching and beautiful. I'm like, oh my God, maybe I'll frame them. I don't know. But it actually made me feel so good to remember, because you get so caught up with the here and now that sometimes you remember the past because it's your past, but you don't get down into the nitty gritty, all the little nuances and all those beautiful moments that were so special. So I'm not sure yet. I have to think about it.
So actor stayed around for a couple of
Billy.
I'm sorry, Gerry.
Oh, I was going to say that Billy was going to auction off some of that David Lee Roth Band memorabilia to raise money for the Buffalo Police Force, I believe. So I didn't know if you had an idea in mind, such as that, Jessie, to maybe auction some of this stuff off, or maybe you're just too sentimental and want to hold on to all of it. So.
No, actually, I'm glad I'm going to put my thinking cap on, because there are things that I could auction off. Of course, they're not at the same level as Billy's. It's not, but it's stuff that's precious to me and precious to Buffalo. It's Buffalo music history. So I'm going to think about what I actually have the actor jacket that I discovered a few weeks ago. I was going through my stuff, and because Larry and I lived in New York City and we had a lot of things in storage. So I started going through some of the things, and I found the actor jacket, which, maybe something like that would be, valuable to somebody and might raise some money.
Or maybe the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame might want that too.
Well, that's the thought. The Buffalo Music Hall of Fame has the Stage One jacket at the Niagara Falls display, at the display that they have there at the Hard Rock.
At the Hard Rock in the Falls. Yep. I've been there a couple times. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice up there.
Really
so
nice. I have some other stuff too. I have some T-shirts. I have some bandanas. I used to wear bandanas all the time, and people would buy me bandanas, and I'd stock up, or I'd sweat into them and throw them back out into the audience.
Right. That was a big thing. That was a big thing in the 80s, the bandana look for wearing them. I remember I wore quite a few myself. Yeah.
That was a big thing. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And I actually did a show years ago here in Buffalo. I came back. Larry was still alive at the time. And this guy came up to me and he gave me his bandana. It gave me my bandana. He goes, here, Jessie. He goes, I never washed it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, thank you. I'll just set this down over here for a while.
Dried sweat, my old dry sweat.
Right.
But it was very sweet. I mean, I thought it was very sweet. But stuff like that, I think, is something I'm going to think about. Thanks for and when Billy was talking about it, I thought, wow, Billy has tons of stuff. And
Right, we were very surprised when he brought out the phone number for Eddie. You know, we were kind of taken off guard with that. That was kind of neat. When
Yeah,
he
that
showed
was
us
pretty wild. Yeah.
oh yeah, oh wow, I know.
But let's get back to your history here. So you're an actor. You guys are doing well. You're playing clubs. You made it onto the 97 Rock, you know, Buffalo Rocks Volume 2 in 82. But things didn't come together for that band, really, right? So you only got to a certain point, and the record companies really weren't interested, or kind of where did it just never made it to fruition from there, right?
It was a heartbreaking situation for me, as you know, it's normal for, you know, when you're going through when you're in bands and stuff, it's normal to go through situations and heartbreaks and issues. We actually had interest from A&M Records in Canada, and which is really great. At that time, Mike Rosniak was our manager, and also David Kahn. We had two managers because things were just rocking for the band. And when we put out the EP, David Kahn was also an executive producer for that, and he went way out. Between Mike and David, they went way out to finance and release this album. The problem is that the record company didn't want to sign the whole band, and it caused.
I just wanted to sign you.
Yes, and I said, well, I need the band. We're actor. You were interested in the band, so that caused a big problem. So as a result, the band, everybody got all upset about it, and because of that, and the band broke up because of that. I mean, we didn't go on. I mean, there was a lot of tension in this band, and the reason why I think it's because we got popular so fast that we couldn't get a grip on it. I mean, I was naive to everything. I was still naive. I'm, you know, I just want to sing. But I think there was so many emotions. There were personal relationships. I mean, I'm not totally innocent of that, but it just, I think we were too young and too young in the business, and the emotions just took over. We weren't thinking of the future or what the possibilities were. We were living in the present moment. And it just dissolved. It was it was a traumatic experience for me, because we did so well. We were having so much fun, and I wanted to keep doing it. But the managers, it was unfortunate.
So that led you to say, hey, I'm going to go where the music is happening. And then you went out to LA at that point, right?
Yes, I took a little break. I had to, you know, settle down and, you know, pull myself together and figure out what should I do. And before I went to Los Angeles, I think I went to visit Los Angeles first, just to kind of feel the lay of the land, which of course I loved immediately. But before I did that, I went down to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and I hung out in Muscle Shoals, not because I was going to do country, but because there were a friend of mine, Mike Caputi, was going down there, and he goes, Jessie, let's go check it out and see what's going on down there. Maybe we could get some music going on, whatever. And I said, great, you know, because Muscle Shoals is R&B, blues, soul, gospel. I was into that as well. And so I went down there, and I stayed down there for a while, and we had interest from Muscle Shoals. I can't remember who it was at this point right now, but what they recommended, based on my history, my musical history, they were the ones to say, hey, you know what? LA is probably the scene for you. And I thought about it for a while, and I said, you know what? I think you're right. So I went back home. At that time, I was living in Grand Island, and packed the car, jumped into the car, boom, and went to Los Angeles. I drove across.
So was this like late 80s, early 90s, or about what time frame would you say?
I'm trying to think. It was probably mid 80s. Maybe it was around 85-ish, something like that.
Yeah. So the rock and metal scene was really big out there at that time, and there were a lot of bands getting signed.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
It was great. I'm like I said, I went there to get a taste, and I said, excuse me, I'm coming back here. as soon as possible because I just absolutely loved it. The whole vibe, the energy. I was like, I felt like an animal. And and I actually was encouraged to go there too by a friend of mine, and she introduced me to Ray Brown. Now, Ray Brown is a clothing designer for at that time for every rock band you could imagine, Motley Crue, all the bands, everybody, and so he took an interest in my musical career. I played him some tapes. He knew some of my history, and so he. It's funny talking about it. I don't really get an opportunity to talk about this too much, but this is great. And he said, "Okay." He was English. He was Australian, and he said, "Jessie, I'm going to put a band around you. Let's get a band around you." And that's when it started with Fire. We auditioned people. We actually were rehearsing at Ronnie James Dio's warehouse, which was on Sunset Boulevard near a Guitar Center. There was a big, huge warehouse there, and we were able to audition and bring in players, and we did. It took us about a year to put the band together, but I'm telling you, once the band was together, it was smoking. No pun intended, because they titled the band Fire, and it was just an amazing experience. It was a great band. Michael Guy, who you may know of, he's played with Shark Island and very well known in the music scene. He's an amazing songwriter, and he wrote some great songs, and we recorded those 4 songs, and he co-produced them with Michael Wagner, whom you probably know is a well-known German producer and mixer. So we released this 4-song demo, and we had a publicist, and I mean the demo. It's a demo. It wasn't even, we didn't finish it, a record. The demo just exploded. We couldn't get enough requests for this demo, so we were selling the demo because people wanted it so bad. I go, oh my God, this is insane. We were flooded with letters from all over the world. I was shocked. I'm like, how did this happen? Well, we had a publicist. We had a well-known publicist who did a lot of writing for magazines like Kerrang. We were featured in Kerrang and Music Connection, all the music rags that were popular at that time. We were always in them because our manager hired this publicist. So Fire did very, very well. We opened up for a lot of acts in LA. We opened up for Razor X, and just trying to think of all.
Oh wow.
So you guys were probably playing like Gazzari's, and I don't know if you played the Whiskey or the Roxy or the Rainbow, stuff like that.
All those, yeah, all those. We played the country club in Reseda. We played a lot of gigs. We went out to Phoenix and did a couple gigs there, and we were really on a roll. I mean, we were doing showcases for record labels, and just right around that time when we were really steamy hot is when the grunge music scene started to explode.
Oh yes. Yes, our old nemesis, which kind of killed our style of music for a while.
Yeah, and it kind of put a damper on things. That it was heartbreaking, but we were still playing and trying, and we were still writing and recording, and we were hoping to, just Ray Brown was trying to approach and negotiate with record labels. It was really, really tough. I mean, we were really pretty close. And then, of course, the tensions with all the stuff going on, then there were tensions in the band, and the band just kind of fizzled out because there was fights in the band, and it was absolutely. I'm like, what the hell? What's fighting?
Right. That's right. That's the hardest thing, is to gel with the right people, right? To find the right people in the same headspace you are, same influences, their music style, complement yours or you compliment them. I think that's the hardest part of the whole deal.
Well, I think that they, not sure, I think they wanted a guy singer. Okay. And okay, I get it. All guys wanting, got a chick singer. Well, the band was formed because of
you.
Because of me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
can you please enjoy this? And if you want to do something with a guy, do something else. But let's keep this together. Let's have fun. We're doing great. Everybody is digging the band and just keep it together. And it just, then the manager, of course, everybody was just, it was whining and oh my God, so much complaining. It's like, you've got a manager who's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on breaking this band, in addition, making all of their clothes. We were the best dressed band in Los Angeles because Ray Brown, the clothes designer of all the bands you could Bon Jovi, like I said, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, everybody you could think of, Yngwie Malmsteen, every 80s metal band you can think of, Ray made their clothes.
Yeah, well, they all didn't have that to start out with, though, so they didn't have your leg up, Rat and Motley Crue and all these guys were living in, one-room apartments and, we're praying to God every day, that they would get something.
Exactly.
I need to find some pictures out there.
And what happened was, I was working for Ray as well. I mean, I needed a day job. So my job, which was an awesome job, working for my manager and this amazing clothes designer, was for me to buy all the material, go to places in LA and buy the materials that you'll see Motley Crue in, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, just all these bands, and not only make them with him, but once they were done, and they would come in and they would get fitted. So I met all these guys, all very cool and down to earth, a lot of fun. But then I would have to deliver the clothes to these guys when they were done, which was fun because walking in with a bunch of clothes and knocking on the door of Axl Rose's house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
At the door, and it's all cool and sweet. And this is when they were all living together in the same apartment at that time. So I got to witness all of that. And I just felt like we were together in this because here we are, I was in this band Fire. We're all in the same boat. We were all in the same thing. And it was very interesting. But
the rest of the people didn't feel that in the band.
No, I just don't know why there was so much stress. And I'm like, how can you be so stressed out? This is so much fun. And you got this manager who's doing virtually everything for you. I would kill for that now.
Right.
I mean, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from him. So that was great. But man, he did everything. He took us to the concerts. We'd go backstage. We do all the schmoozing. He arranged for me to sing on, what was that? Live Aid? Was it Live Aid with Ronnie James Dio?
Yep.
Really? Wow.
It's not the recording. It was the live, was it something Meadows? One of the outdoor venues in Los Angeles. Huge, 15, 20,000 people. And they got me up to sing a song. And it's all about exposure. He did whatever he could to expose the band. And sometimes it was just me to expose the band. And I think it pissed off the band. But, I don't know. I just, it's too bad. But
yeah, you were the voice and you were the image for that band. And that's what he was trying to promote. And obviously the other guys were either jealous of it or, didn't want to, realize that, they were your backing band. And that's kind of how it started, so they should have kind of known that. Unfortunately, they didn't get it through their heads. So that really didn't go too well either. So after that, you decided to head back to Buffalo then, right?
Well, first of all, let me back up a little bit. They were a great band. They were great musicians. And so anyway, the band, so it broke up and my management agreement broke up. It was very, very tough. I mean, I sobbed for days and days. I go, what the? I guess I'm going to have to go solo, which I did not want to do. And I was actually talking to Billy about this today. I go, Billy, I never really wanted to go solo. I always wanted to be included as part of the band. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, I feel the same way. It's just how much, it's more fun. So, and again, remember, when I started this, it was all about fun. Music is about fun and it's sheer joy of music. And I've always still feel that. So I left LA. I sold everything, my furniture, my car, whatever, got on a bus, boom, back to Buffalo. And I started writing my solo stuff. Started writing.
Did you ever return
after that? What's that?
Did you ever return to Los Angeles after that?
Not for my career, just to go visit, but not for music. No, I went the other way. I wanted to go more east.
Right. So then you started writing your first
around the early 90s.
I'm sorry?
This was around the early 90s, I guess, when you returned to Buffalo?
It was actually right in the early 90s. I came back to Buffalo and I started writing my own material. And then I hooked up with, Donnie Tomasulo, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
He's a very good friend. He was a musician. He used to play in a band with Larry, my husband, who's passed on. They used to play together and work together. And he worked for 97 Rock and the radio station. He still does to this day. And I approached him and asked him if he knew anybody in the area that could help produce my music. So I wanted to put out my first solo CD. And he introduced me to Larry Swiss. Now at that time, he goes, "Oh, do you know who Larry Swiss is?" I go, "No, I don't really know who he is. I haven't really lived here that long," and et cetera, et cetera. He goes, "Well, he's worked with Spyro Gyra. He does a lot of bands. He produces a lot of bands in the area." I go, "Well, maybe he would be interested in helping me out." So we had a meeting. Long story short, we fell in love and we got married. And we released my first solo album that we wrote together, which was really amazing. It was a lot of fun. We hired all the musicians here mostly from Buffalo, and we recorded it at Trackmaster. It was Trackmaster at the time. And then from there, we lived our life. I recorded an Italian CD and did a show at the Trout. That went very well. And then I said, hey, Larry, I think it's time we go to Europe. Let's get over there. Let's do something. Let's sell everything and just go to Europe and see what happens. We really
wonderful.
We didn't have a plan. We really didn't have a plan. I love that. I just love being spontaneous. Just like if I decide to go to LA tomorrow, I'm there. I'm in the car and I'm going, because it's just exciting to do stuff like that. It's life, especially now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially now, who wouldn't want to get the hell out of wherever they are?
Right. Exactly.
So that's exactly what we did. We went to Europe and we lived there for a year.
Any particular country?
We went to Maastricht, the Netherlands. We sold a lot of stuff. We put some stuff in storage. We took off. We went and we hung around. We knew some people there through some of Larry's friends. So it's not like we went there cold. And we stayed with them for a little while until we found our own place. And then we started getting introduced to some of the musicians there and put a band together. And it was amazing. Excuse me. I'm belching. It was amazing. And it turned out that I met some great songwriters. One is who I did a couple albums with, János Such, who lived in the Netherlands, but he was Hungarian. Here's this guy that looks just like Steve Vai, long hair, nice looking guy, and he's a killer guitarist and a killer songwriter. I've been very fortunate to work with people that are amazing songwriters, and we wrote an album together, and we recorded it there, and we released it. And that record was called Shine. It was kind of a rock, funk, soulful kind of album. And after we did that, we played around a little bit, and we lived there for a year. And then it was time to come back, and actually we came back right 2 weeks before 9/11. And we lived in New York City for a while. We didn't come back here. We lived in New York City. And then we decided to go back to Europe for a shorter length of time just to visit. And we started writing another album. And that was the Spitfire album. And in the meantime, Larry's growing his design company. You know, Larry Swiss Design. He built recording studios all around the world, and he was doing a good job of doing that work there. In addition to, he was teaching and recording. You know, he was. It was amazing. We were able to really survive and thrive while we were there. It was wonderful, and people there were so welcoming and embracing and helping us, and it was wild.
Yeah, I've read some of the reviews and some of the information for when you're in Europe and stuff, and people really got your music and got you at that time. You know, that's amazing. And I just want to take a quick pause here. We're going to play the video here for Spitfire. I think it's the live one from the Netherlands, and then we'll be right back on Talking About Rock with more from Jessie Galante.
This girl here, she won't lose. Give it a shot if you so choose. Here's my rules, here's my game. Give respect like there's us. I make the things that you make. Don't make that girl mistake. Sometimes you gotta stand fire. You get what you want. Stand fire. I'm not a simple girl. Look inside my world. Something that I can be. Hard as a diamond if you mess with me. Any light, any love I fall. But here I stand back against the wall. Sometimes you gotta go stand higher. You get what you wanna. Stand fire. Sometimes you gotta stand fire. To get what you wanna. Stand fire. Fight with fire. Don't bring me down. Wanna take you higher. Alright, preach to the choir. Take my hand, feel a real live wire. So red hot, Spitfire, give me what you got. Alright, I got one shot. Spitfire, give me what you got. Oh, Spitfire! Woo, yeah, alright. Sometimes you gotta stand fire to get what you wanna. Stand fire. Sometimes you gotta stand fire to get what you wanna. Stand fire. Thank you.
Hello, folks. We're back talking about rock. We're back here with Jessie Galante. We just watched the live video for Spitfire. Must have been great in Europe with the audiences there. They looked, you know, so energetic and so into it.
Yeah, and so really into it. I mean, they listened to every word, every lyric. What does that mean? What were you thinking about? What are you feeling? It's not just, you know, headbanging and jamming. They want to know what's going on. What's happening? What is that song about, really?
Right,
And
right.
absolutely loved it, and it was just we played a lot of gigs, and you know, it was just a wonderful experience. In addition to because we lived there too, at the times we lived there, it was great for Larry and I because we got to do what we love to do, and that's travel and go sightseeing on days we weren't working, or travel somewhere else. Because the beauty of Europe, as you know, is you just take a train or a little plane and you're in another country, or drive or whatever. So we did a lot of sightseeing while we were there. It was an amazing and an inspiring experience to see all the countries. And know that you're hanging around for a while. You don't have to go home like in 2 weeks. We were there for months at a time. We would stay there for months at a time. So we really absorbed the culture, and we have friends that, you know, we have longtime friends that, you know, actually they've come to visit here. They come and hang out here, and we go over there. I mean, it was just absolutely magical.
Yeah, I saw the reviews there from Europe and stuff like that. Great reviews, you know, they really like got your music, and they even dubbed you the queen of European rock at the time when you were touring around there. So that had to just be so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah, we were lucky. We got a lot of publicity because, you know, somebody's in town from somebody's here. This is when we lived in Maastricht. Somebody is here from the United States. They're living here and they're doing their music here. So I was in a position to get a lot of press and a lot of radio interviews and a lot of, you know, we were fortunate to get the gigs, and it was heartwarming. It was heartwarming, and I'll never forget it. And I hope to go back. I'm going to go back this year.
That's great. You know, what I've seen sometimes is the other countries sometimes get the music before the US does. You know what I mean? There might be a new style or a new sound or whatever you want to say, but it seems like some of the other countries get it first, and they get into it first, and then it kind of makes its way here, even if it's from here. But I wanted to ask you, how would you describe your vocal style? Because it's very unique to me. It's very, you know, to me, I would have to say it's like Joplin meets Aretha Franklin type of style. It's, you know, very, very strong. But do you have a way to describe it that you would say?
Well, I love the Aretha Franklin reference because I'm a big fan of hers. The Janis Joplin, I like that because of her rawness. She was like free. Just, you know, I don't like to sing like, you know, perfect and whatever. I just as long as there's fire and passion and it's coming out that way, that's
I love it.
That's singing to me.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot of emotion in your singing. You know, I've seen you live and I've watched your videos and stuff. That all definitely comes through, and that's the whole purpose of music, right? In my mind, anyways, to convey those emotions, those feelings, you know, whether it be happy or sad or whatever. That's the power of music, right?
I agree, and I'm so happy to hear you say that, because that feels good to know that I'm emoting, but I don't think of the emotion. It just comes out. It comes out based on what the song is about. Of course, the music is you know, the music is inspiring and gets me going. And you know, it's funny because when the first time when I first started singing, I didn't sing in English. I sang in Italian. So I was singing a lot of Italian songs, and these Italian songs are just so heart-wrenching. They'll just pull your heart out and slam it against the wall, and you know.
Right, deep stuff.
A lot of that. I learned about emoting and feeling, and not just, oh, okay, here's a lyric. Okay, I'm going to sing it. No, you read it and understand this is what you're singing about. So when you're writing based on, this is how I feel. I'm not writing this lyric because it's a cool lyric. It's because how I feel. Well, obviously all songwriters do that.
Yeah.
And I really love the drama of singing and the music and the theatrics of it. It's all about, again, conviction and passion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the job of the lead singer, you know, and that's not just the job, but it's the joy, right? To be able to show that emotion, to convey that to the audience, and then you hope that you're doing something right, and you get that back. Exactly.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I love to sing. I just love it. I'm telling you, it feels so good. You know, if I'm in a funk or something, I'll put on the radio or put on a CD or whatever, and I'll sing my heart out, and I'm good to go. And singing is very healthy for you. I don't know if you know that, but it's very good for your health. So if you're singing, if you like to sing and sing in the shower or whatever, I'm telling you, just lifts your spirits, and it's physically good for your immune system, everything. But I just absolutely, I can't imagine not singing. I just cannot even imagine a day without singing.
Yeah, I used to do a little bit of that myself back in the day. But you also did some covers here on some of your other albums. Tell us a little bit about "Show Must Go On." You covered that from Queen, right?
Yes. Now I just got goosebumps when you said that, because that was Larry's idea to do "The Show Must Go On" and titled the album, the next album that we were going to write, "The Show Must Go On," as a message that no matter what happens in your life or whatever you're going through. And this was actually, let's see, the show must go on, a year and a half, maybe 2 years before he passed away. So it was really kind of a little strange, but he came up with the idea for just everybody and anybody to be encouraged, because the Queen song, that's, was a positive in the period of time that Freddie was going through.
Right.
With the song, it was like the darkest of days for him, and yet he was able to sing this song like his voice was just always on, even when he was ill.
Right.
So if that doesn't, prove a point and send the message home. So he said, let's write a song. Let's record "The Show Must Go On," because we'll do a really nice version of it, and then that's how he came up with that idea, and I thought it was great.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
Larry was sick at the time. Was this a long illness for Larry, or was it sudden?
It was relatively sudden. We were living in Germany between the summer of the fall of 2012 to the summer of 2013, and he got ill probably in the spring of 2013, and we were kind of wrapping up this "Show Must Go On" album, because we were traveling, and he had to travel back and forth to the States sometimes to do some of the tracks and sessions, because we had a lot of people involved with this album. It was great, but he was working. I had mentioned to you that he was a studio designer. He had a project in Dubai for a recording studio that is just out of this world. He was so excited about it. We were living in Germany. He was so excited about it because these people who wanted this recording studio were very wealthy. I think probably everybody is in Dubai. They were very wealthy, and they wanted to use cherry wood for their studio, which is very rare. And Larry was like, "Oh my God, I can't even believe I'm going to be building a studio made out of cherry wood." So he had to go there for a few months because it was an intense project. And while he was there, somehow he got this fucking disease. It was cancer. And but at that time, we didn't think it was anything dangerous. We just thought it was something he had, and they were going to deal with it and remove whatever was there. It was something that had to be removed. So he was working in Dubai and having to deal with this situation. So when he was done with that, he came back to Germany, because I was there in Germany and he was in Dubai. He came back to Germany. We finished the album. Let me see, we finished the album. Yeah, we finished the album, and we came back to the States in August, and by Christmas he passed away.
Oh, wow.
Because this sort of thing that he had came on so fast. It was like, are you serious? You don't give this poor guy a chance to fight it, and he didn't. And so he couldn't, and he ended up in the hospital. Actually, we were visiting my mother, and that's when he ended up in the hospital. And 6 weeks later, he went into the hospital November 4th of 2013, and he passed away December 28th of 2015.
I'm
So
sorry.
we never got to see the completion of that studio. We didn't get to really say goodbye. We didn't see the fruition, the completion of the album. He didn't get to enjoy all the things that he had been working on, because he also started a speaker company. I don't know if you know about that. It's called the Gazowski Swiss Speaker Company. It's they're near field studio monitors, And he designed them along with Nick Gazowski. Nick Gazowski is one of the world's most well-known mixing engineer. He's mixed everybody. And him and Larry came up with this concept for this company. Well, now the company's exploded and it's doing very well. And we're happy about that because we have 4 partners and they love Larry so much. And Larry built these speaker cabinets with his bare hands, and they just wanted to keep his legacy going. And of course, they want to be part of it too. I mean, it's a growing company. So he didn't get to see that happening. So it was very, very sad. But that was quite a journey.
Yeah, well, it seems like the time you folks had together, you definitely inspired each other and kept the hope and flame alive with each other, you know. So we want to take a quick pause here and we'll show the video for Show Must Go On here on Talking About Rock.
Empty spaces, what are we living for? Abandoned places, I guess we know the score. On and on, does anybody know what we are looking for? Another hero, another mindless crime behind the curtain. In the pantomime, hold the line. Does anybody wanna take it anymore? The show must go on. The show must go on. Inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. Whatever happens, I'll leave it all to chance. Another heartache, another failed romance. On and on. Does anybody know what we are living for? I guess I'm learning. I must be warmer now. I'll soon be turning round the corner now. Outside the dawn is breaking, but inside in the dark I'm aching to be free. The show must go on. The show must go on. Ooh, inside my heart is breaking. My makeup may be flaking, but my smile still stays on. My soul is painted like the wings of butterflies. Fairy tales of yesterday will grow but never die. I can fly, my friend. The show must go on. The show must go on. I'll face it with a grace.
All right, we're back talking about rock with Jessie Galante. We just showed the video for "Show Must Go On." So how did that album do for you when they got put out?
It's doing it's doing well. We got picked up by a small label in Italy, and they promoted it, and it's still on the label. And I'm hoping to get it, because after the album came out, and it was very hard for me to pull it together to get back to Europe. I was so much, I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder because of Larry's passing, that I couldn't bear the thought of, which probably in hindsight, I thought I should probably just go and just do it. I couldn't bear the thought of going back to Europe and facing everybody without Larry. I just could not even think about it. I couldn't even talk about it. But they were saying, okay, well, when you're ready, you'll know. And so next thing I know, I started getting involved in other musical projects, and then still trying to get back to Europe. And I didn't put my 100% in to get back. But then I did, and it finally ended up getting a management booking agent. But now with COVID, nothing's happening over there. But we're hoping that something will, that Europe will open up in the fall, or probably not till the fall.
2023, maybe.
Yeah. So was it either in that time or maybe a little bit before? Maybe we missed it when you got inducted into the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was in 2010. Yeah.
Okay. And then you were in Buffalo at the time. And then you just went to the induction ceremony, right?
I think Larry and I were living in New York at the time, so we came in for the ceremony.
Okay.
Cool. That was very nice.
All right. And is that when you started to talk with Billy and Bobby about the musicians of Buffalo, or where did that come about?
I'm going to tell you, it's a very touching story. In 2004, Larry passed away in 2013. In 2014, I jumped in my car and went cross country and wanted to go to the NAMM show because of the speaker company. We were going to present the speakers there. And so I went there, and I'm walking, you guys have been to the NAMM show, right?
Right. Yep. I've been there. Yeah.
As well, I'm walking around, walking. This is 2014. Yeah. No, that's not right. 2015. 2015, I'm walking, and I see a crowd of people surrounding somebody. I'm like, what's going on over there? So I got a little closer. It's Billy. Everybody surrounded Billy, and they're all talking and getting his autograph. So I just and I hadn't seen Billy in years. So and as you know, maybe you don't know, but Larry mixed the Talus album.
Oh, we didn't know that. No. Which one was that? Was that the first one or?
The first one.
Awesome.
Larry mixed that. So Larry and Billy knew each other. So so I'm walking, and I'm walking. And then I want to, barge in and say, hey, Billy, so I just kind of walked by, and he happened to look up and see me, and he just dropped everything because I hadn't talked to him since Larry passed away, and I'm sure he was saddened by it, and he knew about it. So he put everything on hold. He came up to me, gave me a big hug. Of course, he started crying. And,
oh, that's great.
It was a very moving moment. People are probably wondering what the hell is going on there.
Yeah, just one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet, definitely.
Oh, he is super.
Very big, huge heart, and very caring. He's very concerned. So with that, Billy and Bobby were talking about doing something in Buffalo that would reconnect musicians so we could all see each other again, because people are passing away, or this is ridiculous. We've known each other for so many years. Why can't we see each other? Make it an effort to collect everybody into one spot. Now, one of the reasons Billy came up with that too, is that it was inspired by Larry's passing, which of course I went crazy when he told me that. I go, oh my God, that is absolutely beautiful. So Billy and Bobby were talking, and then they to do the mob, the musicians of Buffalo. And every year we have this Christmas concert. We bring everybody together. We have our guests come up. And the year after, they invited me to be a co-host. So the three of us are the co-hosts for the show. And that's how that all started.
Yeah, I thought it was a great show. It's so cool. I was reading a little bit up on it. Every year, you know, they take different musicians from around Buffalo, and if they want, you know, throw their hat in the ring, as it were, and to come up and do some songs like that. I know this past year, Jim Crean came up there and he sang with you guys.
Yeah.
You know, and some of the other folks, but that was great. I love that show. That's the first time I've been to the Christmas show, and I plan to go on many more times after that. But it was really cool.
Great. I wish I would have seen you or met you that night. It was a crazy night. It was so much fun. We hadn't seen people for 2 years. You know,
Right, yeah.
last year it was canceled, so we were all like, ah! We were excited to see everybody.
Yeah, it was a busy night. It was a little crazy. There were lots of people there and stuff. So
Yeah. But thank you for coming. That was nice.
oh yeah, we'll definitely shoot that one again. And I know you're going to be coming back to town too. When is that coming up? In April? Are you coming back here?
The Sass Jordan concert, if it's hopefully not canceled yet again. I think it's been canceled 2 or 3 times because of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I heard last that there's a lot going on in Canada, but maybe by April things will, I don't know.
So you're supposed to be opening up for the Showplace Theater in Buffalo, right? I think that's what I read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So that.
Sass Jordan, she's Canadian, and the guy that's Dale Harrison, who's our drummer, he's also from Canada. So I hope that, you know, the borders will be open and we can do this show because
They might have to push it another month or two. We'll see. Our numbers are up here, unfortunately, in Buffalo, pretty high. I know Canada's numbers have been going up and up. Border crossings are not so easy to do at this time. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I know some tours are still, you know, rolling ahead, you know, and still touring, you know. I see Def Leppard playing in Vegas. I see Journey playing in Vegas, you know, but then I see other shows, you know, getting postponed. Stephen Pearcy was supposed to be here, you know, and he pushed back his tour dates for a while. You know, David Lee Roth canceled his dates in Vegas, you know, so I think a lot of the folks are hoping early spring that things happen, and let's hope that's the case.
That's what I hope. I think it's depending on the venue too, if they have their own rules, but I wanted to add that in that show, I mentioned Dale Harrison, who's a Canadian drummer, but also Michael Hund is playing guitar, and Bobby LaBelle is going to be playing as well. So it'll be nice for all of us to be together doing the show. It'll be mostly my originals from my, you know, finally getting more of the Show Must Go On songs out there in Spitfire. Spitfire did very well. That was a good album. I actually re-released it a few months ago, and we had it remastered. So we'll be doing songs from that as well.
Yeah, I really like the Spitfire album. Yeah, that really kind of showcases your style for sure.
Thank you.
So tell us about what new things are going on. So I read you're writing new material, getting ready to put together a new project.
Yes, Bobby, Billy, and I are working on an original project. So we've actually laid down the basic tracks of about 11 songs. When Billy was up here last year, when we were doing the tracks for the Christmas album. And did you happen to get a copy of that?
Oh, yes. I picked the Christmas album up from there. Yep.
Jerry, did you?
He wasn't at this show.
No.
No, I mean, I could get you a copy.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, I'll get your information. But
Yeah, please do.
So we're writing on that, and we're talking about, we're actually trying to get together the next couple of days to talk about the songs and how we're going to approach it, how we're going to record. You know, Bobby and I are thinking about, you know, maybe going down to Nashville, whatever it takes to keep working on this album together. And I also do some writing with a band in Italy that I did the lyrics for them last year for their album, and they invited me to do their album this year, but I could, you know, it's going to take some time before I can get to it, but it's a great band. I mean,
is that for was it the Clee project? I think it was.
Yeah, they're an amazing band. I think they're hot. Roberto, the guitarist and the lead singer, is so amazing. I mean, just very talented. So I'm happy to work with them as well. And my stuff too. I'm always writing, doing stuff myself as well. I actually have a song that I'm trying to get done and also videotape it here in my apartment. I have my apartment turned into a gym and a film house and a photography studio.
There you go.
All that stuff I learned from Larry. But it's a song called I Wish I Might. And it's a little dark. It's a dark song, but it's also kind of like a dreamy fantasy song. A little thing, something a little different for me, but also I think it's I like doing stuff like that too.
That sounds.
Wow.
Yeah. If you want to share that with us at some time, give us a little taste. We would appreciate that. That would be awesome. But before we let you go, we wanted to just pop in one more little video here for you. I know you put this together. I think maybe a couple months ago or something. You're covering Nights in White Satin. It was kind of a tribute to Larry, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of symbolism in the I call it a movie because I feel it's like a little movie. There's a lot of symbolism, and all the symbolism has to do with Larry, things he loved to do, or things that had an effect on his life, or arts, architecture, music, art. Larry was an amazing artist. He was a very talented guy, and I mean, God, the guy did so much in his lifetime. He told me once, he said he thinks that he's done things for that maybe it would be for 8 lifetimes. A normal person would be 8 lifetimes. Oh my God, that
sounds like it.
How wonderful for somebody to say that and feel that, because it makes me feel like he had a full life, So very interesting guy. But yeah, a lot of the symbolism all the way to the very end with the train, everything has to do with Larry.
Okay.
That was a beautiful video.
Yep. So let's take a quick pause and we'll check out Nights in White Satin here by Jessie Galante on Talking About Rock.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. I love you. Gazing at people, some hand in hand, just what I'm going through, they can't understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend. Just what you want to be, you will be in the end. And I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. 'Cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love
All right, we're back here talking about rock with Jessie Galante. We just watched the video for Nights in White Satin. Amazing video. It was just done so beautifully, you know,
It is
so much
beautiful.
cool stuff. Stuff from Buffalo in there too, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
Buffalo, yes, absolutely. And it was 2 years in the making between storyboard and the actual, final edit. But it was full of love and a lot of tears when I was in the production and working on it and everything like that. Even the music, the music for it is all family and friends. All the instrumentation you hear on the album is all my family, my nieces, my nephews. Billy's playing bass on it. Bobby's in it. Bobby's, I don't know if you noticed that it was Bobby on coming at the Shays Theater on the top of the stairs.
Okay, no, I didn't notice. What I did notice, I noticed that you guys are at the arcade in Attica Railroad. 'Cause I've been there quite a few times. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. The steam and everything like that. Oh,
Yeah.
it was an adventure. Well, Chuck Anderson produced that video. We spent a lot of time working on it, and so it was mostly it was a labor of love with family and friends, and every location that you see, Shays, Attica, the train station, everything, the
Art museum, right?
the museum, everything, and the hotel that was there. Everybody contributed the location. They didn't charge us. We didn't have to do anything weird, and they just fell in, because I told them the story.
Yeah.
I said everybody the story, and they just fell in love with the story.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're going around Buffalo, New York, right? Everybody, you got friends around town, you got different areas, city of good neighbors type of thing going on,
Yes.
Yeah.
And the opening, where I'm lying in the bed, that's the Asa Ransom out in Clarence. That's actually where Larry and I spent our honeymoon. I wanted to do it in that particular place, and it just so happened that we got the exact same room that we spent our honeymoon night in.
Wow, that's awesome.
Lift me out. I go, are you kidding me?
Perfect video for you. Perfect, definitely. Well, I hope you continue to make, new videos for new music that you have coming out. They did an outstanding job on that one.
Yeah.
I know videos are not the big thing anymore, but every once in a while, it's still cool to see one, coming out.
Yeah, I think so. I love them. It's very theatrical. Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially one like that.
So, but yeah, it's all good.
Cool. So if folks want more information about you, where should they check it out? Should they check you out on Facebook or your site or?
Yes, you can. I have my website, jessiegalante.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Email me, anything. I'm out
Right.
there.
Right, and your stuff's on Spotify also, if people want to check out the different stuff on Spotify, and I assume you're on iTunes also?
Yes. Amazon,
Excellent.
Google Play, Apple Music. Yeah, so check everything out and anything out.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So,
there's a wealth of good stuff out there.
so you're going to be heading back to Buffalo, I know, but also I was reading that you're going to be heading back to Europe then, probably then after that, right?
Yes, I have working with an agency out of the Netherlands, and they book all of Europe. So they're just waiting. We've been in touch on a regular basis, and it's just like there's nothing going on in Europe. They're not doing any bookings right now. As a matter of fact, they're canceling. And so as soon as it opens up, then boom, I'm there. I'm ready to
Yeah, it
go.
might be 2023.
Oh, please.
Well, maybe you can get out into Gerry's neck of the woods at some point out in Nashville. They got lots of clubs out there. Definitely. We're happy to have you come back here and be back home in Buffalo. That'd be great to see you again. Definitely.
I'm living here right now because my mother is 91. So I'm kind of making sure that she's cool. But I do go back and forth to New York. And we went down to visit Billy right before the pandemic started. We were just down there. We were doing, Bobby and I, we went down there. We got together with Mike Caputi to do a couple things. And then we hung out with Billy and Elisabetta and got to see their house and hang out and sitting.
Did he cook you dinner? Because it looks like he likes to cook. I'm always seeing him posting stuff about cooking all the time.
Oh, but someday when we're there a little bit longer, he's gonna have to, because they're just so mouth-watering. When I see his recipes, I'm like, are you kidding? But as long as I've known him, he's liked to cook. He's been a fan of cooking.
So did you get to see the area a little bit?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But it's amazing how we were right. I think it was March, the first couple of weeks of March, we were down there. I'm like, wow, that was close. Right before COVID. So
Oh, yeah.
it was good to be able to hang out, see his house, and see his mansion house. It's huge, and see I see all his memorabilia. I mean, wow, he's got quite the collection. But it was nice and hanging out with Elisabetta and seeing her, and it was very nice. But
Yeah, we're looking forward to his projects coming up with Winery Dogs and Sons of Apollo. So that'd be awesome too.
yeah, I
when
don't know
that
if you've
stuff.
ever seen- I don't know if you've ever seen Winery Dogs. Have you seen them when they came to town?
I've seen them.
Wow.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. They sold Basement East when they were here.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, they were just so powerful, the three of them. Like, it's amazing. We're so
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last thing we're waiting here on Buffalo is the Talus album that he's going to be putting together with Phil Naro.
No.
So I'm really waiting on that. I know lots of other people are waiting on that. That'll be great.
Yes, we are just so, we are so sad about Phil, and it's just so hard. And I think it's a wonderful, his legacy will be really, it'll be beautiful for his legacy, because it's exactly what he loved to do, and loved to do it with Billy. And, they have such history, and Mark Miller too. And it's just amazing. It's very, very special. We can't wait. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, we're very lucky here in Buffalo to have so many great artists come from here, like yourself and so many others, that have made their mark in music and are still going strong. We really love it. That was kind of our passion to start this show. And just to let people know out there, you know, there's still live music, there's still live bands going on. You know, if you like this music, you need to go out and support these folks and go out to these different clubs and check them out. You know, there's not album sales like there used to be back in the day. So that's kind of like our mantra here, keeping the torch alive, keeping the flame alive. You got to go out and see the music.
Well, I appreciate your support. I know you've been posting the Christmas concert and also Billy's stuff and my stuff and Bobby's stuff, and appreciate it very much. And, programs like yourself and you're obviously, committed and passionate, and that speaks volumes, and we need that and we want it and we love it. And I just want to thank you so much for that. Really.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Gerry and I have been lifelong music fans, like he said, he's from here. We grew up talking about music. So it's like, why don't we have a show where we're talking about rock? So that's what we decided to do. Yeah. So,
and then I learned a lot about the artists that I didn't even know. So just hearing your whole history here, Jessie, was fascinating for me. So
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for giving me the opportunity and the outlet to talk about it. And now I'm like flying high now. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to sleep for another.
Well, we so appreciate you being on. We hope to talk to you again sometime in the future. Like you said, touch base. If you could give us a taste of some of your stuff that's coming out, that would be so cool. We'll keep that under wraps for you. But if you want to give us a taste at some point or something like that, check in with us. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. We'd appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you folks out there want to know more about us or you have comments or feedback, please feel free to email us at talkingboutrock@gmail.com. Please like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and always. For this interview and other interviews also, please check us out on our YouTube channel.
Cool.
Jessie, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jessie.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.